Well, wake up, sleeping ugly. Because your only hope is lowered expectations.
Welcome to the second installment of Lowered Expectations, my podcast that is a spin-off of Schöner tiefer Stapeln, the German music podcast I do with my buddy Thomas. Hi, Thomas. Today we have a very special guest. Looking forward to this interview, to this talk with you, Squire. Tim Edwards from Wales, from Wrexham to be precise, fellow podcaster, member of the Wrexham AFC podcast Fearless in Devotion, and an all-over connoisseur of all things punk, hardcore music. Tim Edwards, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much for having me.
It has been a long time coming. We did go back and forth, and we finally today came together and are able to do this interview. We are both busy guys. So what has been going on with you lately?
Oh, I'm trying to get used to the change in weather,
Okay.
And it's gone from super nice to really cold. But then today it's been nice and cold, and then hot and not nice. I just don't know what's going on, man. Like I can't. I'm very much an autumn winter kind of guy. I like Halloween, I like Christmas. I like big coats and hats and going to gigs more in the winter months. But didn't really quite prepare me. It's like somebody flicked a giant weather switch and went, "Here you go, summer is finished." And I'm like, wow, that went really quick. And I wasn't really prepared for it. So that's been the recent bugbear that's going on. But you know what? There's a lot bigger things going on in life. I mean, it's an easy reference point, but look at the Ukraine situation. We've got to be super grateful with our lives and where we're at and what we do with them. So some of us don't have that choice. So for all our little gripes and whinges, they're so trivial in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that is so true. You went in real heavy there. Ukraine is, that is definitely a horrible situation. And when you look at that, we don't really, or I at least don't really have that much to complain about. My life is peachy keen compared to what's going on right there, or in other parts of the world, let's say Israel, etc. So we gotta let the people know why we're talking, why we know each other, a Welsh guy and a German guy. And I actually came kind of up with a dad joke. So a Welsh guy and a German guy walk into an Irish bar and start drinking. First night, second night, end of the second night, the Welsh guy goes to the bar and asks for another beer, and the guy at the bar, the bartender says, "Mate, we don't have any more beer, but you do know that there is beer with alcohol, right?" So that is basically the story of how we met. We met at Cafe Baron in Reykjavik, Iceland. We were both there for the same thing because our friends in Mínus or Mínus had a reunion show. In fact, they had 2 reunion shows in 2 consecutive nights. And we both individually, without knowing each other, met them before the show of the first night. And while they were having sound check, we were starting talking about everything, basically, mostly hardcore music. And we did that for 2 nights in a row. So that is how we kind of got to know each other, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you'd arranged to meet Frosty. I'd arranged to meet him as well. And it was kind of probably I think you were there before I arrived. And I think you might have introduced us. And that was that. And it was just, it was the shared love of that band first and foremost. And then what spiraled from that, because ultimately they're a band that made a massive impact on my life growing up. And then, as is always the case with amazing bands, they kind of fall apart and life gets in the way, and real life kicks in with job and house and family and everything else. So as soon as I caught wind of the fact they were doing these reunions, I was like, I've got to go. I don't care. I mean, I've always wanted to go to Iceland anyway, largely because of them. And because the drummer obviously ended up in that Eurovision film that featured Will Ferrell. I was like, I know him.
Right.
And then I twigged it was the drummer. I was like, fuck, that's just wild. So I was like, right, that's even more reason to go. So I kept in touch with Frosty and a few of the others. And, they said, we might be doing something in maybe a year or two to come. And I thought, yeah, we'll see. So when it finally happened, I was like, yes, it's so cool. This is going to be amazing. So I think it was a bit of a siege mentality of that. We were probably, I think we were definitely in the minority of Europeans that would have traveled, but it'd be very interesting to kind of figure out who would travel from where, because obviously you from Germany, me the UK.
Yeah.
I dare say there was a few others dotted from all over the place, because obviously we went to the after show party afterwards, and there was people. I definitely heard a few more different accents other than Icelandic, that's for sure.
Definitely. But at the same time, there is a lot of diversity in nationalities in Reykjavik and in Iceland, or in Iceland, probably not so much so, but in Reykjavik, there's all sorts of nationalities. So we can't really say for sure. But I was in the same exact space where you were. I read about it. I think it was Instagram, not 100% sure. Who cares anyway? But I saw the ad or the post by the guys, and I was like, fuck, I gotta go. And I mulled it over for like 24 hours. And the next day, I think the first show was already sold out, and they had then announced a second date. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get the definitely ticket for the second date and a second gig. And then I contacted Frost and like, dude, I'm coming. But I didn't get any ticket for the first show, and Frosty, who's going to be the next victim on Lowered Expectations. I've already talked to him, so in 2 weeks he'll be sitting where you are right now. And he said, dude, I got you, you're on the guest list. I'm like, dude, so fucking cool. And I booked the flights. I booked an Airbnb somewhere in Koppavogur, which is one of the suburbs of Reykjavik. And in May of, or was it April? I think it was May. It was mid of May of 2024 that we both went there, and that's how we met. And we basically went to that bar and started drinking 0.0 alcohol Stella Artois until there was no more 0.0 alcohol Stella Artois, which is something that not many people can probably claim fame to.
Definitely not over there. Not at those prices. Those are the most expensive malt water I think we've ever had in our lives.
Definitely.
Yeah, not cheap, but worth it. So if you've never been to Iceland, go, because it's brilliant.
Yes. How did you first get in touch, or how did you first hear of Mínus or Mínus? Or how do you pronounce it? I always, I'm always kind of like Mínus because I'm an American guy, but I think the official Icelandic way is Mínus or something like that. Probably Frosty's going to kill me. But how did you get wind of them?
I think bizarrely, I was kind of like a latecomer. I mean, one of my mates who's heavily into the kind of noisecore and stuff, he was like into the sort of Jesus Christ Bobby era stuff. And I didn't take a vast amount of notice of it at that time. And to be perfectly honest, it's not my go-to album for them, nowhere near. And I think it was definitely, obviously, the whole Deluxeness album, which undoubtedly still is one of my favorite albums ever. Back to back, it's amazing. And I'm not sure where I heard a song. I don't know if it was like on a 2-track EP, or maybe one of those, like, the sort of CDs you used to get on the front of Metal Hammer, and it'd be like a 20-track compilation. I'm sure it was like a compilation thing that I must have heard it, and I couldn't figure for the life of me what it was. I was like, what is this? Because it's like, it's not hardcore, it's not punk, it's kind of got this rock and roll swagger. It's got a guitar tone and a guitar tuning to this day that I still can't remember, but it's all over the shop for uniqueness. It's such a bizarre tuning. And I from that moment onwards, I was like, I played it over and over and over and over again. And I remember used to work in a place called Crewe, which is about 25 miles away from where I live. And the album came out, and I went out and bought it, and I literally played the album to death. I mean, I bought the 2 different copies, the one with the eyeball on it, and then the one with the silhouettes on it. I got all the singles, and then I remember that there was the website was like noisyboys.net or something like that. They had like a street team working for them to try and push their merch and everything else. And they did a UK tour, and I became that guy that followed them everywhere. To the point I ended up sitting in the van, getting all kinds of drunk with them. It was just like a different time, man. But it was so good. So it's nice to kind of you see what's happening now with like Oasis and stuff, and people that grow up with a band like that.
Right.
Like for me, it's a kind of a similar thing. Obviously, different levels in terms of popularity and everything else, but the people who used to love Oasis was like a rite of passage and part of their youth or wherever it might be. That was a similar thing with Mínus. Despite everything else that I was into, a lot of heavy music, Sepultura, Metallica, blah, blah, blah. They came along and I was like, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what they are, but all I know is I can't stop listening to it. I can't stop listening to it. And then when you figure out, oh, right, they're from Iceland, that's even more unique. I like stuff like that where you can have a breakout band from maybe somewhere that's like known for like, I don't know, the Sugar Cubes and Bjork, and then something like this comes along. And like, Mínus ended up supporting Metallica. People forget this. This is a big deal. They played at the Reading Festival when they were on early, and I must have been like just spin kicking on my own down the front. Like, I don't care what's going on. This is my field. It's 12 o'clock on the dot on a Sunday. This is my field. I'm not having it any other way. Yeah. And so that's the long answer to your question.
That must have been like the early 2000s, right? 2002, 2003. When did that album come out? Or was it later than that?
Yeah, I think it was 2003, 2004. One of those. And yeah, man, just like, I literally like, even now, I'm like, if I play something, they're like, I don't know what it is. It's like, it's like, to me, that like, with the everything about them, the swagger of the Rolling Stones, and they still had that hardcore punk Iggy Pop thing going on, and
right.
It's like, this is wild, man. And
there's
like,
a little bit of a Helicopters, a little bit of Hives. There's a little bit of like noisecore band like Botch, or even like crazy what's the guy's name from Faith No More? Mr. Bungle, and what's his name? I should know this. Why do I keep forgetting this guy's name? But like all noisy. There's even, I mean, the kind of wall of sound that you can only get from like grindcore bands like Napalm Death and stuff like that. So it has all that, but it is not a cheap copy of all those bands that I just mentioned. It's evolved. Does it sound pretentious? Maybe it does. And maybe Frosty is, when he hears this, going to laugh at us. But it does kind of feel like they did learn their lesson listening to heavy music in their youth and their adolescence, and then decided, now let's do a band. Let's try to make it.
It's like, but kudos to the likes of Napalm Death, Slayer, other bands that don't deviate from what they know. They've got a formula that they're very good at, and they're kind of protagonists for that particular thing. Why would you want to try and do something else if you don't need to do it? So I think with bands like Mínus, very, very young when they did the early stuff, and they get that, and they're really good at it, and they get that done. It's out the way. It's like, what do you do now? It's like, I still like heavy music, but now we figured out that Crummy can sing. Like he can do harmonies. He's got this swagger and this kind of. He's developed this rock and roll persona where he just owns the stage, and you're thinking, well, maybe we don't just need to do straight up kind of Hydra Head records, kind of in your face, stuff like the Locust and stuff like that. Where
right.
I hear these bands and I'm like, man, they're so good, but like maybe I'm of an age now where I can listen to it for a minimal amount of time.
Yeah,
like, give me 20 minutes to half an hour, and I'm tapping out. I'm done. I'm out of there, because so many bands push the boundaries these days. Not of what is acceptable, but like bands really push the envelope of new parameters, and they try and break through that next wall. You're thinking, fucking hell, where are they taking it now? And
Yeah.
you remember the Berserker on Earache Records years ago. The Berserker were an insanely talented band.
Right.
But it was like listening to somebody digging up the road outside my house. It's like, fuck. It's too much, man. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate what you're doing as musicians, but it's too much.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So when a band like Mínus naturally show some, I don't think they made a conscious effort to go, you know, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to do this. I think it's just natural growth. I'm like, you know, Frosty might be laughing his head off, like you say, but I genuinely don't think they, to this day, and even though I was bored of telling them, I'm sure you were bored of telling them as well. To this day, I don't think they realize how good they are. Not where, how good they are. And I think had it not been a combination of the things, that they probably could have been a whole lot bigger than what they ended up being. But I'm so grateful that they managed to tour the UK so many times and a fair bit of Europe as well. You know, maybe.
Definitely.
I don't think they did much of America off the top of my head. I can't remember.
Not a lot. That's probably something that Frosty will probably know a lot more about. I remember that when the Huddle Access album came out, I was doing shows. I was a small show promoter in my hometown. And the second show I promoted or organized was with an English band called Stairland and with another band whose name escapes me, and headliner was supposed to be, or maybe they were supporting band, I'm not sure, but that was Mínus. And a week before the tour started, I get an email from this Hungarian promoter who at Zoli something, it was not Zoli Taglis of Ignite, no, but some kind of, but he's Zoli from Hungary who organized the show. He's like, yeah, well, Mínus dropped off, and are you going to still do the show? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a nice guy, and I've always been a too nice guy. And I was like, in my head, I was like, Mínus was the only fucking reason I was going to do the show. But yeah, why the hell not? Let's fucking do it. I mean, yeah, it was not a financial success. So I think I lost about 400, 500 euros on that show, but made it up with a couple of other shows a couple of years, months down the road with other shows. But that was a bummer. So I never got to see them until I saw the first reunion show in Reykjavik in May. So I never got a chance to see him in the UK because I was not really able to travel that much during that time. I was working a whole lot. And once I worked in the United States, which I did from 2012 until 2017, they were no longer around and I didn't see him there. So I'm not sure if they ever did an extensive tour of the United States. That's definitely something that Frosty is going to tell us. But I only saw them twice, unfortunately. So you were lucky doing that, hopping on your car and following the tour bus. For how long was that? Like a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, easily.
Wow.
They definitely they easily did like half a dozen UK tours. Easily.
Nice.
I remember seeing them support a few bands a couple of times. I can't think who it was.
Okay.
Usual places, Manchester and stuff. And then, I just followed them everywhere. And I remember going to the Sugar Mill in Stoke. I think it was
okay.
Sugar Mill. That was a really good show. And yeah, I don't. It just happens though. Again, you will find an album or an album find you, and you literally cannot get enough of it.
Yeah,
like, front to back, upside down. You can play a note off any song on the album. You know where it is. You know where in the song, in the song that is, and that hasn't happened for a while. But I think that probably the last. I mean, Turnstile stuff. Naturally very catchy, but
obviously.
The last No Warning album, Torture Culture, was just it knocked my socks off. Everybody goes on about Ill Blood, but Torture Culture, man, is just I remember sending Ben an email, an Instagram message. Ben Cook, the singer, just said, dude, I know you never play songs from this, and I know you're never going to play songs from this. Please be under no illusion how good this is. It's such a good album. It's
gotta check that out. Gotta check that out.
It's so good, man. It's like the ultimate for me. It's one of the ultimate modern day crossover albums. It's untouchable. It's untouchable. And I know, like,
Sure.
Cro-Mag's made a comeback with Harley and this, that, and the other,
Yeah.
which is great. But again, like, No Warning just developed their own sound and influenced so many bands. And yeah, man, that last album is just
Awesome.
perfect.
I definitely got to check it out. When we were talking about, the mixture of styles that Mínus actually evolved from. And one of the things, about heavy music and how some music, when you listen to it the first time, is just like, well, that's too fucking much. I had a very weird experience a couple of weeks ago when All Out War came to Germany and did a tour, and I saw All Out War, and I remember listening to the All Out War albums in the early 2010s, and I was thinking, like, dude, what the fuck? These guys are fucking insane. They're maniacs. What? They're crushing everything. It's almost too good to listen to. It's too hard, and I haven't listened to those albums in a while. But I did, because I wanted to, sing along during the shows, and those songs are fucking awesome and great. But it is not that heavy and hard anymore for some reason, because there is so much involvement going on in the hardcore scene, right?
Yeah, and it's like it's a classic case there, because, like, For Those Who Are Crucified, man, is like legendary stuff. I mean, that is Victory Records Paramount stuff right there. Forget Strife. Like, that is where it was at for Victory.
Okay.
Those albums are so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's weird because you got like bands like Malevolence and stuff now from UK, huge, and they've got this slight unique aspect in that Con, the guitarist, can do a very, very. I remember speaking to him at Eberfest, and he loves Crowbar, and you can tell because he sounds like Kurt Winstein when he sings. So they've got that unique thing going on, or semi-unique thing, whereas All Out War just sounded like Slayer on steroids, basically. It was just the hardcore Slayer. So All Out War are essentially like a legacy band now. They're a legacy band that, will get dumped on Revolution Calling or whatever, like big festivals, nice payday, and fully deserved. But one thing I do like about All Out War is that they will still release albums. They released albums. And one thing that annoys me is with the greatest respect to Gorilla Biscuits. I love Gorilla Biscuits. I love Civ. Record something, man. Give us something new. Stop just dining out in these first two albums, as good as they are. Give us something. Come on.
Exactly.
Other bands have done that. Yeah. Why can't you? And
Gorilla Biscuits has so much musical talent on it. I mean, Civ, definitely one of the best New York hardcore songwriters, from the Civ songs and the Gorilla Biscuits songs, and Walter is a musical genius, and Walter puts out an album every other day. I feel. I mean, there should be something to go on to. I mean, I don't think that they will ever destroy their legacy by releasing new songs, because I think that's kind of what they fear, because the songs from Start Today and Hold Your Ground are so legendary that it might just be a non-starter from there. They're just too legendary. That might be a reason, right?
Because of that lo-fi recording. I think if you were to re-record a Gorilla Biscuits song or do a new Gorilla Biscuits song, it wouldn't sound like Gorilla Biscuits.
Exactly.
So that's a good point, to be fair. It's a good point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Walter, like you said, he's prolific as a musician. Sammy's always busy with other bands. Yeah. But yeah, it would be nice to
definitely.
I love Civ more than I like Gorilla Biscuits. Like, I love Civ the band.
Okay.
Even though the second album gets a lot of heat, it was weird.
Okay.
But it was weird. But yeah, I mean, set your goals again. Perfect album.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but yeah, I'm an old school New York hardcore guy, so I like the first Chromex album. Probably the demo recording of that is the best. The first recording, the shitty re-released and again released chunking session stuff that is kind of on the lo-fi, not really well produced side. I like, from those bands, I always like the first albums best. Gorilla Biscuits, Judge, Sick of It All, Blood, Sweat, No Tears is just the best Sick of It All album, hands down. And I will fight you for it. If you don't agree with me, hang up. I mean, fuck you. I'm joking, but I really enjoy the first albums of a lot of bands. Let's take a couple of steps back. How did you get into music? What is your personal first memory of music? What is the first song you listened to, or the first band you liked?
Oh man, now you're asking. I mean, it was like Metallica was my gateway, which sounds very, very obvious, but it was. And like, but it was like Black Album. It was Black Album time, where my mate giving me on a tape. But we were like listening to like chart stuff at the time, which is shit chart music and nothing really good, just usual crap. And give me the Black Album on a little crappy tape that was like recorded. Okay. And I was like, give this a go. And I was like, this is nuts. This is wild. It's unhinged, but it's refined, and I don't know what to make of it. So that was the one, and then you kind of like naturally backtrack and go, right, where does it grow from here? I need to go and delve backwards and see what they're all about, and blah blah blah. So I can't particularly pinpoint. Obviously, Sandman is the first song off the album. Is the one that I, along with a zillion other people, have probably played more, or at least have heard more than any of the song in their entire lives, because you just can't escape it. I've even got a Black Album poster on my wall, would you believe?
Okay. Which is just black with a little snake in the corner, right?
Exactly, yeah. It's a big old snake, don't tread on me, snake.
Right. It always looked like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's where they took it from. That's
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's from Don't Tread on Me. It was like a war thing. I can't remember. Maybe.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know where it originates from. That's an interesting question. I mean, obviously, it's kind of gotten into the. If you want to be a real American, you have to at least have a "Don't Tread on Me" flag or T-shirt. These days, but,
let's not go there. Jesus.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, Jesus fucking hey.
Yeah. So that was the main thing, and bizarrely, even though that I was exposed, like my dad was still into Queen and the Who and stuff. So there was like I was always like rock orientated, but I hadn't really. I hadn't got my own band yet, AC/DC and stuff. So I was always, I'm aware of it. I was exposed to it, but nothing had broken down the door and said, "Welcome to our world. Come on in, make your choice."
Yeah.
And I did. And my first ever show was Monsters of Rock, Donington, 1995. Metallica headlined it. And
wow.
The lineup for that was like, Metallica, Therapy, Skid Row, Machine Head, Warriors Soul, Slayer, just a nasty lineup. One stage, cheapest chips ticket.
Wow.
I was like, this is the best thing ever.
When was that? That was 1995?
95, yeah.
95.
Conformity opened up. I was like, this is
holy shit. That is a good band as well. I haven't heard that
was amazing. That was amazing. So I was
like,
this is it for me. This is the one. And you go from there, don't you?
Definitely. So you mentioned your dad, and did you grow up in a kind of musical household? Some people grow up, and their parents want them to, learn the flute or learn the guitar or learn the piano or something like that. Does your family have like a musical bone inside themselves?
No, not really. I mean, there's even thinking about it now, there's like loads of vinyl when vinyl was cheap and cool to begin with, before this new wave that we're experiencing. So there's vinyl knocking about, there's tapes, there's like stuff from like Tina Turner, there's some, the Small Faces, Rod Stewart, the Jackson 5, and just all sorts of random stuff. And then I ended up getting some random shit as well, like Bros. Bros, they're a boy band, for God's sake. I know. I had New Kids on the Block tape. I had the Anfield Rap, a Liverpool Football Club song. Horrible. So
my first piece of vinyl that I bought was Gold by Spandau Ballet.
But that is nothing to be ashamed about. That's called eclectic mix. That's an eclectic mix.
I'll remember that. I'll note that. I'll write that down. That is an eclectic mix. Yes.
I have no shame when it comes to like, because like, despite all my metal and punk and hardcore tendencies, 99% of the time, I still love a good, healthy dose of dance music, man. Like, I went to Ibiza 3 or 4 years in a row. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Okay.
There's a band called The Shaman from the UK, long forgotten about now, but The Shaman were brilliant. And obviously The Prodigy, still love The Prodigy these days. So, so dance music, but hard edge dance music, something that was like, wow, that's heavy. It's heavy.
Okay.
Not heavy in the sense of there's guitars overlaid it. It was just, I thought it's still heavy music. It's just in a different genre. So
right.
So you kind of you become a little less insular, and because I remember being very, very, very narrow-minded when it came to music. When I got into it, like, this is it. I don't care about anything else. I don't need to listen to anything else. That's it. I don't expose me to anything else because I am just not bothered. And then, lo and behold, you start listening to other things. You go, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like this. I think I like this. Yeah, maybe I like a little bit of indie music now and again. Maybe I like a bit of dance music now and again. But I draw the line at opera. Opera's horrible. And well, it's beautiful.
You've got to draw the line somewhere.
Well, yeah, I draw the line at opera and or like this UK drill music bullshit. I don't get that, man. It's not my thing.
Yeah. I mean, every now and again, you come across something. Turnstile, you mentioned them before. I've actually, I saw them in 2015 when they had barely like 10 minutes of music out. I think it was doing their first EP, and they didn't really leave much of an impression on me. And then a couple of years later, they came out with those, with their style of, whatever, for better lack of a word, hardcore. And I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. And then, the last album, absolutely brilliant, but the album before that, which escapes me, is TLC. Is that TLC? Turnstile Love Connection? That was the album before the new one, right?
Yeah, it's Time and Space. Time and Space was the one before.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But, the second...
You got Never Enough.
That's the new one. And the one before was TLC. TLC is the one that I was like, well, actually, this band is actually pretty great.
And I kind of called. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that band like a lot.
Okay.
So what was it? I need to look now. It was Glow On. That's what it was.
Glow On, yes, exactly.
Never Enough, then Glow On, then Time and Space, then Nonstop Feeling, and then
exactly. Glow On was the one that opened the doors for me.
Yeah.
And because I always catch myself being narrow-minded about new kinds of music and interpretations of the so holy hardcore scene, and Turnstile just basically reinvented or produced their own new kind of style of hardcore. People might call it hardcore, some people might not call it hardcore. The most important thing is that it's really good music, and nobody really gives a shit if it's hardcore or not, right?
Biggest hardcore punk band on the planet at the moment.
It is.
People, you got all these gatekeepers saying it's not hardcore punk and they've no right to break out into the mainstream. Again, we talk about narrow-mindedness. That's a narrow-minded point of view. And the way I see it, I mean, whichever way we look at it, hardcore punk ain't ever going to be like as ginormous in the sort of popular music scene as your likes of Oasis, Taylor Swift. Nowhere near. No. So to see Turnstile play like the Conan O'Brien show, where it might be like all these big American talk shows and playing big festivals. And they played at Reading Festival again recently. I remember they played it a few years previously, and they were kind of low down the pecking order in the tent. Okay, and now they were up on the main stage, and then the BBC over here they put out like a lot of the live stuff, but they put out a lot of full set highlights, and Turnstiles was on there, and it was quite prominent in the kind of billing. I was like, that's amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I remember seeing Turnstile a lot. I mean, one of the first times I saw them was, Jesus, it was like Nonstop Feeling tour, and I saw them in some weird, amazing stage in Paris.
Wow, okay.
It was like a circus top. It was like a circus tent. It was cool.
Nice.
A cool venue. Nice. And like, Sick of All were headlining. I think it was like a Persistence tour kind of thing. It was Sick of All.
Right.
Turnstile were way down the bill at that time. And not many people kind of were like, who are they? What are they doing? I remember jumping up on the stage and singing and jumping off it because it was hardly anybody in there for them. And I was like,
Cool.
so it's kind of cool to see them go through that to where they are. And I was lucky enough to interview Brandon at EPA Fest maybe a few years after that, and you could just see it steadily, slowly but surely building, because as songwriters, they are prolific. They are very. If you can be a very technically wonderful musician.
Mhm.
If you haven't got the songwriting abilities, you are stuck. You are stuck, and that's the bottom line of it. And like it should be dead easy to write a really good, catchy song, but it ain't. It really isn't. And
No.
not if you want to do it on a regular basis and try and reinvent yourself every time, album cycle after album cycle.
Exactly.
And that's what they've done. That's what they've done. They've obviously listed Meg Mills from the UK on guitar now as well, and just a very good band. I'm watching them next month in Manchester, so that'll be fun.
I'll have tickets for Hamburg in November, which should be awesome because Hyvis is supporting them. There's a really awesome band.
Yeah.
And next day I'm going to see Gorilla. The following day after the Turnstile show, I'll see Gorilla Biscuits with supporting Terra, or Terra supporting Gorilla Biscuits, which should be awesome. And on the day before Turnstile, there's the 30th anniversary of a band you might have heard of, but probably have not, because they're not. They're a German bands, so most German hardcore or metal bands are not that well known. Mörser. Have you heard of Mörser? M-O with the two umlauts, dots, R-S-E-R, Mörser.
No.
Got to check them out. They have an album out which is absolutely brutal. 10,000 Bad Guys Dead, it's called. They usually have 2 bass players and 3 singers on stage.
2 bass players. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'll send you a link. They're one of the most brutal bands from Germany, and they're really, really awesome.
I'll check that.
And not really well known. And they have their 30th anniversary on November 8th, and I'm going to see them in their hometown Bremen on that. So that's going to be an awesome weekend there. What's the last show? So again,
bands, 2 of my favorite metalcore bands are from Germany.
Which are?
A band called Disrespect. Don't know if you heard a band called Disrespect. Were incredible. Like, they did an album called Eternal Mayhem. I think it came out in like I want to say 97. I swear to God, it was hard as nails.
Okay.
Like you'll listen to a recording like Fear Factory to Manufacture, where you listen to the recording thing that will stand the test of time forever because it's so good. That album, Disrespect, Eternal Torment, Eternal Mayhem. Well, I just remember listening to it and go, fucking hell. The way they've recorded this, they've just like ramped up the treble to 12 and gone, right, stick that. And I was like, and I saw them support the Cro-Mags in Bradford.
Okay.
It was the Cro-Mags Revenge tour. So it was Harley and Paris Mayhew on that tour.
Okay.
Which kind of feels like a fever dream now because you'd never get these guys in the room again.
Definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the first one. And the second was a band called End of Days.
Oh yeah! Oh,
I only saw them once.
Days.
I know. I was in the basement, and I just remember like I'd heard them anyway, and obviously the obituary comparisons were unavoidable. Unavoidable. The guy just sounds like Donald Tardy from Obituary. 125,000%. And I swear to God, man, when I saw him, I was like, this is so good. I've got an End of Days t-shirt somewhere. I've never parted with it. I don't think I've ever worn it.
Awesome.
On the back, it just says, fucking brutal. One of the best t-shirts ever.
Definitely. Oh yeah. I just looked it up, and I think I might have featured them on my radio show, which I had back in the 90s and 2010s. They were on an album on a record label called Mad Mob Records, which is the label that was started by the guys from Cortex, which is the largest hardcore and punk rock store and mail order in Berlin. And we're actually going to have David from Cortex be on the German part of the show in a couple of weeks. So it's great how things are so interconnected in the scene. That's friggin' awesome. What's the last show you went to?
It was Saturday. I went to watch the Hives.
Oh, okay. How was that?
It was ace. Like, okay. They're one of those bands that literally I was never that asked about years and years ago. Because I was probably into heavier stuff. And they came along with the, IDIOT and Hate to Say I Sold You. So I was like, yeah, it's catchy, but I feel like they may be missing another element to their amplification. Like garage rock was garage rock. It's a Swedish thing.
Right.
And so I wasn't too fussed. And I remember I was at, what was the festival called? There's a festival in Belgium I went to, and I can't remember what the hell it was called off the top of my head.
Ypres? No, not Ypres.
No, it wasn't Ypres. Oh, what was it called? Damn, I can't remember what it's called now, but it was good. It was a good, sizable festival.
Okay.
But the Hives played in the tent, and everybody I wanted to see had played. So I thought, oh, well, there's nothing else on. I'll go and watch them.
Okay.
And I went to see them. They were amazing. And I've never seen them since, up until Saturday just gone.
Okay.
So, and
awesome.
because so maybe I mellowed out a little bit in later life somewhere along the line. But the last couple of Hive albums, including the latest one, are so good. They're just, again, consistently good. And it comes back to songwriting. They're just really good songwriters. And they're fun to watch. They're fun to watch. They're fun to listen to. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go along. And it was like a record release show in this little venue in Liverpool. It was great. And so that was fun.
Definitely. I remember seeing them way, way back in the 2010s when they started to become really famous. I don't know if that was a regular thing or was just a one time that I saw them where the singer, came up on stage and wanted to say something German. And he said, explodieren bitte, with that Swedish accent, which actually just means, please explode. Would you please explode? And like the whole crowd kind of like went nuts. So I find that was so funny and it just, captured my heart, so to say. So the Hives definitely, a great band, cannot be appreciated enough. You did have the honor, I guess, and the privilege to be in, was it Birmingham, July 5th, when Ozzy Osbourne's last show was happening? How did you get tickets? How much did you pay? And how was it, dude?
I remember when they first, because I remember Sharon Osbourne said ages ago she wanted to do this thing at Villa Park, and I was like,
right,
I'd love it to happen, I just don't see it. And then when it finally dropped, I think it dropped like January this year. I think the news came out that they were going to do it. I was like,
right,
I got to really put all my notes. I'm gonna have to turn my phone off from silent and have it to like vibrate or loud or something. Get all the notifications in. And then they said, right, the tickets are gonna go on this date. I was like, fine, let's chance my arm. And it was just like, it was chaos, Ticketmaster chaos. Nothing, no surprises there. Like 100,000 people where it was in the queue.
Exactly.
Like, okay, screw that. That's not gonna happen. So I think I probably had a bit of a whinge somewhere on social media. And then a lad who I don't even think I've ever met in person, like called Ben Hipkiss, who is a Wrexham fan, same as me. I must have reached out. I must have whinged about it somewhere. He must have been following me on my personal Twitter account. And he said, "Oh, I'm also like an Aston Villa fan as well. I've got an Aston Villa members account, and the Sabbath gig are going to have like an exclusive pre-sale window of opportunity for Aston Villa members. Because if you want to access my account and try when they open up for that," I was like, yeah, 100%.
Don't mind if I do.
Don't mind if I do. And I remember where I was when I did it, because me and my best mate had gone down to London to watch Inside Number 9. Like, I don't know if you're aware of League of Gentlemen, League of Gentlemen BBC series called League of Gentlemen, dark comedy. A couple of guys from that have done this Inside Number 9 anthology on the BBC. Creepy, wacky, quite out there, dark humor again. They're doing a stage show in London. So me and my mate I was like, we got to go and get some food before we go in. I said, but I need to sit down and have this because the pre-window is going to be opening for this. I was like, I'm not expecting it. I was like, because I've got a half an hour window to get these before we go into the show. So I'm not expecting it. Yeah. So I opened it up. I said, there are 1,000 people in front of me. I said, I can deal with 1,000 people. That's a whole lot better than 100,000 people.
Exactly.
Like, you can go and watch the show on your own if I manage to get in here, because I ain't going anywhere until it says you are next in a queue. So I managed to get in, and I think something came up that said GCS only. I was like, what the hell is GCS? I was like, it sounds important. Let's just press it. It's the only option available. So I pressed it, and I think it said something like think it was like 420 or something like that.
It's not too
And I thought, well,
bad.
considering that I would pay 150, 200 to see Metallica anyway.
Right.
I was like, just press yes and buy a ticket. And I was like,
Yeah.
and everything crossed. I think I'd subliminally eaten my pasta or whatever I'd ordered whilst I was doing it. I must have been the most antisocial dinner date with my mate. I was just like wolfing it down. I was like, wait, just hold it. Put my hand there like that, going, just wait for a minute, wait. Don't speak to me. And it went through and I was like, I literally like an out of body experience. I think I started crying. I definitely shed a tear because I was like,
wow.
Yeah, because I know so many of my friends who tried and had missed out. And I had this kind of, sort of steer by where this guy said, try it, by all means try it and let's see how you get on. And I got it, couldn't believe it. And then it was that waiting game then, because I kept on going into his account and viewing it there and just Aston Villa membership and said back to the beginning. GCS was Golden Circle standing. Ooh. So I was in the front bit, not even the big general bit. I was in like the front bit.
Wow!
I was like, this is crazy. So yeah, and the day neared and it was amazing. Like, went down to my best mate lives in Birmingham anyway, so that was kind of helpful. Didn't have to pay stupid amounts of money to find a hotel. Went down the night before, did all the stuff that everybody else was doing. Going to all the main horns, looking at all the graffiti that the Mr. Murals fella had done, and just the buzz. Like, it's weird because I hadn't felt something like that for a long time. You go to a football match, there's a buzz about a football match. You go to a gig, there's a buzz about a gig, but it's fairly specific to that particular event. Whereas this was like, you knew that it was something special. You knew and the buzz, like it's so hard to explain. Yeah. But I just remember being, God, it feels like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now.
Yeah.
It felt to me like the first time when I went to Donington Monsters of Rock in '95, where I went down on the bus and it was just metalheads taking over the service stations, and it's just like so metalheads had basically taken over Birmingham and kind of said, right, we own you today because you own us, because you created this scene that we all know and love. So it was just
it was palpable in the air, basically.
Yeah, it was, but it was really nice. It was like special. And I was always annoyed that Birmingham had never truly overtly rolled out the red carpet for Black Sabbath. But I felt like in my head, part of the mate, it maybe felt like it was almost like a dirty little secret because of the music style,
right?
Where it should have been celebrated. And I remember when the Olympics were there, Ozzy kind of opened or closed the show. I can't remember. I thought, well, that's good. But there needs to be more. There needs to be more of a permanent thing, not just the Black Sabbath bench. There needs to be other things. You go to Liverpool, the Beatles are everywhere, naturally.
Exactly.
So I was like, why is this not being celebrated more? And I think finally, like Birmingham City Council and everything else have twigged how big of a deal that was, and that, I think that gig really opened everybody's eyes to the momentous occasion of what it was and what they stood for and everything else, and
how seminal his entire career is to music, not only to heavy metal music, but to music in general. I mean, so many legends floating about, and everybody knows the story about with the friggin' bat, and the Dark Prince of the Prince of Darkness. It's just, I mean, there's so much legendary stuff. There is the TV show, which I never watched because I thought it was just, I don't watch celebrity shows. I think it sucks, and it kind of felt like it didn't do him a good service, because he was, I think, from what I heard and saw, he must have been a really genuinely nice guy who had nothing but love for everybody around him.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, he was a nice guy. Obviously, he wasn't without his faults. Obviously, throughout life, who is
right.
But yeah, I mean, it was great because, I mean, again, I think the Osbournes is probably enjoying a kind of lease of life again now, because naturally anybody who passes is always interested in what's gone before it. So I've kind of, I never had Sky, cable and stuff, so I couldn't watch MTV or any of that jazz anyway. So it kind of passed me by, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see like Ozzy Osbourne get a fresh lease of life, because at that point, you know, he'd recorded everything he wanted to record. He'd had a successful solo career, and then you had this other thing of, right, this is how wacky he is, and this is like the kind of a real, you know, sort of behind the curtain of what being a rock star is like and everything that entails.
Exactly.
And just how wacky his life was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just an incredible character, and that's why I'll always be privileged that I was there for that day, not because of what it was, but obviously what's happened since, and the fact that it was his last performance, his last public appearance. And I think there was definitely an air of inevitability in the crowd. There's a lot of people crying, but I think it wasn't just because of the final performance. I think obviously he was in ill health. He was nowhere near what we know and love, but still give it like a really good performance. And honestly, it was like the metal version of Live Aid. That's what I keep calling it. It's basically what it is, a full tilt metal version of Live Aid that was worth every penny and then some. And the fact that I think it's the highest grossing charity concert of all time.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh wow.
I think it's something, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like, I can't remember. It's definitely a couple of 100 million that this thing is raised for
that is awesome. Kind of, I did not know that. That is so biggest, cool. That is
because
so
every penny went to charity. Nobody took a dime. You know, the bands never took a dime. Everybody who did it off their own back. And then you look at the merch sales. You look at the boost to the economy, and then there is talk now about whether they could do it as like an annual thing, maybe. Once a year thing. Yeah. But you don't know what's going to come. I mean, you know, the Ozfest is still there and everything in any way, shape, or form. That could resurface in a different guise, maybe. But yeah, it was just like the day itself. I mean, I can tell you how good it was, but it will never do it justice. It will never do it justice, because you didn't want to miss anything, because the turnover was so swift, because the revolving stage is like, these are on it. Wow. Who comes over like Anthrax and does a 15-minute set? They're only ever going to do that for Ozzy and Black Sabbath.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, exactly. This is bonkers. Like, there's people coming over and doing like 15-minute sets and stuff.
Wow,
like, this is just insane. And then Steven Tyler appears. Like, what the fuck's going on there? it's like I can't. Last time I listened to Aerosmith, like, willingly, was a long time ago. But you can't take away from that. This guy is another living legend that probably, a bit like Ozzy, should have popped his clogs way, way, way before he's still here. You know, so yeah. So there's like all these kind of like modern miracles going on, as well as being part of this like literally jaw-dropping experience. I think they're doing like an abridged version for cinematic release next year.
Oh, cool!
So that'll be amazing. So
definitely,
I would definitely tell everybody to go.
It kind of feels like King Ozzy, you know, was, you know, having his court, and, you know, just having everybody come up and, you know, dance for me, Jester. You know, that's kind of how I feel like it. And he
was taken away by it. You could genuinely see it.
Awesome.
Coming up through the floor. I was like, oh wow. It's just a sea of people. Like, wow. And it was just off the scale. It's up there with probably my first ever gig as a special moment in time, where you just go, some things are indescribable and some things can never ever be replaced, and that was perfect for somebody who can't be replaced, I guess.
Definitely. Wow. So top 3 of all time shows, probably one of them, right?
I mean, that has to be in there just because of what it was. I mean, and there's some funny bits as well, like, you know, obviously Metallica were great, but Jesus Christ, the sound mix is awful. And the sound mix for them is so bad. I'm like, could somebody just take the drum kit away from Lars and everything will be fine? Like, it was too much. I would have rather have had the St. Angus snare sound than the sound that he had.
I was just about to say that, but I was not going to take that joke from you.
And it wasn't even where it was, because all the bands before it sounded great. So I was like, what's going on here? But, you know, just like Jerry Cantrell's there. It's like Alice in Chains are on and Slayer on. It was just like, I have no idea what to expect next. And then you got these
Wow.
super groups with Tom Morello, and it's like, what? And
Mhm.
literally, it was like, oh, wow. Because nobody really knew what to expect. There was a little bit of a leak with the set list earlier that
Mhm.
day, but not everybody clapped eyes on it. So
Okay. Yeah.
everybody chose to kind of be surprised with what was going to come next. So it's
Awesome.
definitely, that has to be top 3. It has to be.
Definitely. Cool. I'm kind of jealous, but I'm glad I got to talk to you about that. So, were you ever in a band yourself? Have you ever, dabbled in that direction?
I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guitars right now.
Okay.
Two
All right.
guitar amplifiers.
Okay.
A guitar that you might actually be jealous of, actually.
Probably. I'm jealous right now, not even knowing what it is. Ah, that looks nice. The Sigurd Dragon, on a black guitar.
Number 1 of 500, it says here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. What kind of company? What kind of?
This was ASG, which is Artist Series Guitar, which I don't think exists anymore. But I'm pretty sure it was the is it Ryan Wombasher? I think was the bass player, or still is the bass player in Bleeding Through. I think he had an involvement in ASG. So they run. I literally did a limited run of 500. And I got number 1 because I stayed up to small hours. Like, I need to get this guitar. And to be honest, I've not really. I did have it signed. Pete Collar actually signed it to me, and then
awesome.
I felt like it ruined the facade, so I rubbed it off. I know.
Let's not talk. Let's not tell Pete about this.
Well, I wanted to sign the back and sign the front. Never mind.
Okay. So you did. So did you play in bands? Any bands I might know or?
No, not really. It's one of those classic cases, isn't it? It's like I've been in bands. There was a band called Primate, which were based in Cheltenham, which is a very, very long way from here.
Okay.
Because I was so desperate to be in a band and any sort of established band, I travelled there, and that was a long journey. That's like a 5 or 6 hour round trip, to do practice. Like, what was I thinking? That was silly because like I wanted to be in a band that had been signed, and they were on Blackfish Records, which were owned by Ian Glasper, who's the bass player in Stamping Ground. I was like, UK hardcore veterans. Cool. Yeah. So I've been in bands, and but they've never really gone truly anywhere in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it doesn't really bother me. I do it for the fun of it now. But my first ever band, who were awful and didn't have anything released, we managed to land a show supporting Madball.
Oh, nice!
1998 in the Bradford Rios, which is quite a big venue. How we managed to blag this? I was like, we're going to get killed. We're going to get murdered.
Okay.
So
but you obviously survived, so.
Yeah, we turned up. We kind of looked the part. We probably sounded awful, but we took like a busload of people. We took like 50, 60 people with us on a bus, so that was kind of cool. And I just remember like Madball were touring the Demonstrate My Style album, which is my favorite album.
Oh yeah,
this is fucking incredible. Anyway, it's incredible for that reason. I was like, this is cool. Yeah. So yeah, it was good. But yeah, I've done bands and they've been okay. I've enjoyed parts of it. I'm kind of in a band again now, but that's kind of like a Wrexham Football Club themed kind of band, which is it's kind of like, imagine like the Ramones and stuff like that doing kind of terrace anthems, and you won't go far wrong really. But I'm playing bass in that, which is weird. I've never been a bass player, but I'm enjoying it.
Okay. But that I mean, perfect segue, because that's the pink elephant in the room. Obviously, that's the only reason why I want to talk to you is to get to Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Kidding, obviously, but you are an avid fan of Wrexham FC. You've been probably for your whole entire life. And a couple of years ago, this show started, Welcome to Wrexham, the kind of reality kind of show where Ryan Reynolds from Canada and Rob McElhenney bought Wrexham FC, which is, I believe, the third oldest soccer, excuse my English, football club in the world. It must feel unreal, because Wrexham went from the 5th tier of the league to the 2nd tier, the second highest league in the United Kingdom, in just 4 years now, in 3 years. Absolutely mind-boggling. And since you are an avid fan, obviously Fearless in Devotion podcast, we got to talk about that. How has that impacted your life, buddy?
Oh, it's just been amazing. Like, even just to give it an insight into how well the podcast is doing today, I was out work before, just had to visit somewhere, and then some guy said, "Oh, really, really, thanks for the podcast, man. I really enlightened that." Cool, thanks. I keep forgetting that we put a lot of that stuff up on YouTube now, which wasn't really part of the plan, but then we started doing it, and it's nice. It keeps ticking over nicely, and I started it kind of Boxing Day 2014, I want to say. Because I was like, there's no independent fan's voice on social media that can discuss this and can just. So I just did it as a bit of a sounding board for me, to put it out there. So, but I've been a fan since '91, and I never in my wildest days did I think we'd be where we are now. And obviously, the transfer window is just closed, the sort of UK transfer window for players. We have spent a net spend of £33 million. Which, Liverpool just spent 125 million on one player the day, so it's still a drop in the ocean. But for a club that, less than 7 years ago, we're still build the budget and asking fans to try and help raise money to try and get a player with like one leg and a glass eye compared to where we are now it's not even, it doesn't compute, because it's difficult at the moment because of this massive overhaul of players that we need to compete at this level of football. And it's a difficult one to get your head around because we haven't had time to form bonds with these players yet because they're all new, they're all shiny. There's a lot, the turnover is immense. It's immense. Yeah. And people won't care too much if, we start winning games and taking scalps of bigger teams, etc. But yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a sea change that I'm definitely getting used to. But it's, look, I'm fortunate to be around for these days. There's so many people I know that are no longer with us that are not here to see it. So you embrace it avidly with open arms because you never know how long it's going to last. True. Loads of other fan bases have said, wait until they get bored. Well, we're 4 years in, they've just spent 33 million quid. I don't think they're getting bored anytime soon. They seem to be enjoying it. Exactly. Documentaries on this has been recommissioned for a 5th season. Oh, there's more eyes on that. The North American fan base is massive. It's getting bigger in Australia. And it's just absolutely crackers. Like, it makes no sense to me. Oh, man, years and years ago, I used to go to wherever on holiday and wear a Wrexham kit. Nobody would bat an eyelid. They might go, who's this? Where's that? Where is Wales? And now they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I've got that shit. Like, have you? Where are you from? I'm from Timbuktu. Like, Jesus. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, it's mad. And like, I've got an old car sticker here, which is to hand, actually, a very old car sticker. It doesn't stick anymore. And I haven't been able to parade this car sticker for a long time because obviously Wrexham are one of 4 Welsh teams that ply their trade in the English Football League, if you like. So Newport are now languishing way below us. Cardiff, ironically, are now below us because they got relegated. So that just leaves us and Swansea in the same division. So I'm hoping by the end of this season, I'm going to be able to put this back up.
Number 1 team in Wales. Yes, Wrexham AFC. Awesome.
It's been a while since I've been able to put that up with any sort of substance. Because I don't want to put it up if it's not true. So it better be goddamn true with the amount of money spent this season.
I feel you. I mean, my hometown team, Göttingen 05, Göttingen 05, is a very old traditional soccer club from 1905. They're stuck now, or have been stuck in the 6th tier of the German league system. They've been down as far as the 7th tier of the league system, but they have been stuck in this tier, the Landesliga, for about, I think, 3 or 4 years. And, we faced the same problems that Wrexham FC had back in the day. Players didn't want to continue playing because of, there's not enough money. They had better opportunities. There's, the stadium is all rotten. There's, not many people come to, 6-tier league games. Money is always an issue. We'll probably won't have, somebody like Ryan and Rob taking over our club, but, here's hoping, crossing my fingers.
You never know.
You never know, but, right now the quarrel inside the club is so bizarre that, it's basically they're eating themselves up, the ultra fans and the club bosses. So, it's kind of different in Germany because clubs are very traditional, just like they are in the UK and Wales as well. But here it's like, it's a very German thing to be in a Verein, which is the German word for club. It's like, if you are in a soccer club, a Fußballverein, you are there for life and you are, dedicated, and everybody who's not, doing it your way, and especially if you're like, in the the club managers, basically, if they're not doing what is good for the club, they get ousted. And so there's a kind of tug of war going on between the club managers and the fan groups and the ultra fans. So kind of curious how that works out. But football is a very important thing in my life as well. But I wouldn't be able to make a podcast out of it. So
you'd surprise yourself. I don't think there was any idea that we were going to do a pod, but obviously I started it, and then we did like a hard copy color fanzine, and that was
nice.
hard copy glossy color fanzine for a while, and then it just naturally gravitated into a pod, which is obviously done well, and it's been on the documentary. We've done voiceover stuff, which is kind of cool, and featured on that, which was amazing. That they didn't have to do that, but they've kind of kept the fans involved. And it's just gone wild, but in a good way. It's nice to have that platform and be one of a couple that is, I'd like to think, is well respected and well established now. So yeah, there'll be more for sure, and there'll be other things, people doing their own USPs and trying to find their belonging in that podcast world, if you like. But
yeah.
We won an award last year, which is kind of what's there on that thing somewhere. Where is it there? Which was nice.
That's cool. Yeah,
we got nominated for it and we won it. I was like, fuck, this is amazing. Didn't expect that. So there's nothing special in that sense. It's a very stripped back, humble chat, and we try and keep as grounded as we can. We don't say outlandish opinions for clicks or likes. We just keep it real, because if you don't keep it real, people will see through you.
Exactly. It's all about Wrexham AFC and nothing else. It's
Yeah, and obviously, it's handy because the four of us, the main four that do it, we're all of an age where we've been there since, like, the there's a couple of us from the 90s. There's one maybe from the early noughties and stuff. So we've got a good cross, reference point of various parts of when we started supporting them. And you get these fan bases now saying, "Oh, your pod's only been going 4 years. You've only just started doing it when it took." I was like, "Mate, I've got pictures of me in a kit when I'm 12 years old." But even I could show them that, and they'll say, "Well, that's AI." It's like, why am I trying to justify myself to you? You either like it or you don't. Either way, you're talking about it. The algorithm's going through the roof, and that's more money in our coffers. So thank you very much.
Exactly. Haters be hating, huh?
But you can't argue you're stupid. It's as simple as that. And
exactly,
I get why a lot of fans don't like us because of the media interest, the media overdrive. But from a media outlet, that gets clicks. That does generate clicks and likes and opinions and generates the page impressions. So
exactly, yeah.
Such as the modern world dictates. So what are you going to do? If it's going to be us, great, and we'll hold on to our moment in the sun for however long it lasts.
Exactly. I mean, I looked at the scoreboard. You're right now 15th place, I believe, 4 games in.
Yeah, around that. It's been a month, and we've been competitive in every game. Finally, won a league game on Saturday. 2 in a row with a kind of cup and league. And now the international break, obviously, so all the international teams are in action. So that gives them a week and a bit to bed in the new players and get some more moves going on the training ground. And honestly, it's just it's so surreal. It's so surreal. I can't keep having these surreal times this year, from the Aussie gig to watching Wrexham play one division below the Premier League. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's interesting times, buddy.
Well, it's just like times. It's like you sort of blinking, and then all of a sudden your team are playing Leverkusen or Munich.
Yeah.
You're like, what? How? When? Oh, who are all these new players, and why did they cost so much?
Yeah. And by the way, if you ever come with Wrexham FC to Germany to play Leverkusen, let me know so we meet up, right?
Well, Christ, if that ever happens anytime soon, then probably die a happy man. Surely we're not going to get to that stage. I mean, I'd love to do it.
I mean, if you win the cup, the FA Cup, then there might be,
you just don't know. And like the fact that these owners have said, right, we'll flex some of the financial muscle, not primarily from their own money, but this is what the money that's been spent is the money that's been generated through advertising, through the documentary, through shirt sales, through all sorts of manner. Just properly, they're spending what we've generated, and that's what annoys a lot of other clubs. It's like, why can't we do that? You can. You just need to have a big dose of good luck on the right people. And
exactly.
And you go from there, don't you? So it's but we're very, 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 very fortunate. It's been quite a nice month not winning until Saturday. It's like, the good bad old days are returned. This is what it used to be like.
Yeah, exactly. The worrying every day, but winning for 3 straight years, it might feel good as well. So I'm rooting for Wrexham, definitely, and definitely looking forward to the new season of the documentary show. I'm not a big TV football watcher. I like to go to actual games, but right now my time is limited as well as everybody's time is limited. But I do go to home games of my own club, which is a lot of fun. I mean, when the sixth tier of the league, and we still have 400, 500 people showing up to every game. If there's a local derby against our rivals, the other team from my hometown, Göttingen, there's like 1,000 to 2,000 people showing up. So it's a it's a lot of fun, and we do have ultra football fans and singing 90 minutes all through the game. So it's a whole lot of fun. I love soccer, and I can definitely. I'm a little bit envious. That's what I'm saying.
But by the same token, like, it's such a universal language. I'd like to come to that game. I'd like to come to a 1,000 capacity local derby, because it's a different dynamic. It's a different dynamic, and like there's a team down the road from here, like literally on the way to Wrexham, called LEX, LEX, and it's like a local sort of Welsh team way down the leagues, and Wrexham played a friendly there, probably, I want to say 2018, so not even that long ago.
Right.
And like, you still have like 2,000 Wrexham fans turning up just to see who trialist A and trialist B and trialist C was. All these sort of players that we don't know who they are yet, but they're trying to try out for the club. So it's never that far removed, despite what everything's going on at the club now. It's people still like grassroots football. There are a lot of grassroots football around here, and as and when Wrexham don't play on a Saturday, which would be quite often now because the game's getting moved for TV, people make the effort to take those games in, because it's nice to go along and see people that or just the simple stuff like being able to go to a football match and get a cup of tea with a ceramic mug. They don't even give it you in a cup. They trust you to have a hot beverage in a ceramic mug, and they're going to trust you to not chuck it at a player or an opposing fan. So it's like, I like that there's an element of that that remains real, and you strip it all back, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it sounds very classy. I mean, only in Wales or in the UK would you have somebody zipping in a tea from a little porcelain with a little under. The image that somebody's like wearing a monocle and wearing a top hat, something like that. It would. definitely
Proper
would be amazing.
Gentleman's United, that would be, wouldn't it? Like on a hat.
Exactly. Like a black
suit.
smoking and a bow tie or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how I'm going to go to the next home game.
Yeah,
Actually,
you need to get one of those cigarette holders. And
yes,
smoke it.
yes, definitely. In between,
crushed velvet suit and some creepers.
Yep, definitely. That's my new outfit. That's my. Where you going? I'm going to a soccer game. Excuse me, football game. Anyway,
before or after your pimp shift. You know what I mean? It's wild.
yeah, exactly. Oh wow, wow. You do have a dinner date with your parents, so I don't want to keep you too long from your dinner date with parents. Family is always more important than podcast. Couple of questions that I kind of want to ask all my my interview or guests on the show. If you had the chance to go back in time, and see a band that you have not seen, and basically sell your soul to the devil to see that band by going back in time, what band would that be?
It's difficult. It's difficult because you can look back on stuff like YouTube footage and go, that looks incredible, like unbelievable. Like, so I could probably give you a hardcore answer, and I could give you a mainstream band answer.
Good, yeah.
So I think hardcore band answer would be Bad Brains. I think kind of like mid-80s Bad Brains, like live at CBGB's. That show just looked like pure carnage. That is how I want hardcore gigs to be. That's how they should be now. Like people jumping off stages before they've even hit the first note. Like the pure unhinged chaos and unpredictability, and the fact that there's these black dudes from Washington DC playing the most abrasive hardcore punk. It's just like, man, it's so good, so good. So I think I'd go back to that with a healthy nod to Inside Out. I would have loved to have seen Inside Out, like pre-Rage days, and because yes, that EP is so good. Yeah, and I think mainstream band. I keep gravitating towards Nirvana. Keep growing. I don't know why. I'm not, because like I had that phase as a teenager where I bought all this stuff. Like, this is amazing. It's so cool. And that, now and again, I'll listen to him now and again these days. But I just think that would have been an interesting one if that can be considered mainstream. Other than that, it would be something a bit wacky, like, I don't know, Jimi Hendrix Experience, or just so I can witness. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. I want to witness true genius-like stuff. Like, it's what I've been lucky to do with the Sabbath stuff, I guess. But to witness kind of Kurt Cobain in his pomp, or Jimi Hendrix. Like, I couldn't name you more than 5 Jimi Hendrix songs, really. But it doesn't mean I wouldn't want to be in his presence, and go, shit, this guy was good. Like, he was a guitar god.
Exactly.
Like, so good. And like Jimi Hendrix, I think that the Isle of Wight, the footage of that is just so good. So good. So I think those would be the ones off the top of my head. I think from, I'm sure I'll be thinking about this for the rest of the night. I'm thinking, fuck, I should have said this.
No, that's good. I mean, the first answer is always because that's it's something that I have thought about. It'd probably be Minor Threat for me at the 930 Club in Washington DC, because I've seen footage of that show. That would probably be something that I'd really enjoy. And mainstream stuff would probably be any show, probably any of the old, pre American recordings, Johnny Cash stuff. I would love to see Johnny Cash live. I would sell myself for that, same way I would sell myself for seeing Minor Threat. So definitely I can, but I can also relate to Bad Brains. Fuck yeah, one of the most influential bands of the hardcore and punk rock scene, and Jimi Hendrix, just all over, guitar genius. You said it right.
I think
Definitely.
that'd be a strong one, but in a weird way, maybe ABBA as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, just for the disco vibes, man.
Definitely, definitely. And last but not least, we got to do, because we have a playlist for the German show and the Lowered Expectation, the English speaking show. So I need you to give me 3 songs. 3 songs. I try to kind of, put them in a little bit of a category. Just the number of, it's a hard question, but your number one punk rock or hardcore song, then a guilty pleasure song,
That's easy.
something that, and a third one would be one of the best songs of a new album or a new band that you've heard in the last couple of days.
Oh, well, guilty pleasure will be Girls Aloud, because they're just, they're just a British all-girl band that were a bit like the Spice Girls, but probably better. So I'll go Girls Aloud as my guilty pleasure, because I've seen them about 6 or 7 times. I openly brag about that. I don't care.
Okay.
Last time I saw them, I got the VIP experience. I went in their snake pit. It's great.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So Girls Aloud, and what song am I gonna go with? There's a song called Wake Me Up, which again, when you listen to it, think, it's quite heavy, for a kind of manufactured girl band. It's quite a heavy song. It's got a big guitar hook in it. So Wake Me Up by Girls Aloud. I'm going to avoid the punk hardcore song, because I'm going to my mind is changing about 50 times over just as we speak. In terms of new song or something that I've listened to recently, I am going to go, just because I'm playing it a lot, because it only came out last Friday. There's the new album by a band called End It, and the album's called Wrong Side of Heaven. The first song off that, Wrong Side of Heaven, is great. It's great. It's dead short. I mean, how long is it? Let me have a look. What was it? It's like 1:07, and the singer opens up with an "oh shit." And it's like any song that starts like that, it's like, yep, you're in trouble. I love something that gets straight to the point and doesn't mess about. You know exactly what you're gonna get. Exactly what you're gonna get.
And I gotta be honest with you. I knew you were gonna say End It, because I've been listening to that album almost nonstop. It definitely is. I was first a little disappointed, because the EP, is a little bit more quirky. I would say it's a little bit more tempo changes and stuff like that. But still, it's actually their first album. They never put out an actual album before, so adds up to them. I mean, it's awesome.
Yes, this is true. So I'm going to go with that. I think, because that's still a solid choice. I mean, I was going to give you a close one, which is I'll put this one as in brackets. I'm cheating a bit now, but a band called Desolated. The album is called Finding Peace. There is a song in that called Lessons. I think it's the first song after the intro. That is a hard album, man. It's nails. That's just vicious. So I'd have that. Stick that as a nominal effort right in there. Hardcore punk song, man. That's so hard. I want to be a bit of a geek and give you something really random, because there was a Swedish band called 59 Times the Pain who I absolutely adored. They were on Burning Heart Records, and I want to give you something from that, but I'd be lying if I said it was one of my favorite hardcore punk songs. So it's going to have to be something very, very, very straightforward and obvious. And I think I'm going to have to go with Sick of It All. And that song is a straight fight now. It's a straight fight. It's going to have to be Scratch the Surface. It's going to have to be. It's between that and Step Down, because obviously that album is incredible. But Scratch the Surface, I hated it when they re-recorded it. I hated it. It's like, stop. You didn't need to re-record it. the first one. This is what we said about Gorilla Biscuits. So you're right.
Right.
If they
Exactly.
recorded anything, it would sound shit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Sick of It All re-recorded many songs.
Yes,
to give it a new lease of life, but you just can't beat the primal feeling of that first recording. That's like 1995, I think. Scratch the Surface came out, and
I think so.
Same song from the same album, and the way it kicks in with those drums and that fucking guitar riff, man. Even the riff, it's a bit like if you try and play that song. If anybody tries and plays that main riff, right, it will sound rubbish because it's Sick of It All, and people call it sounds good. That riff, it sounds like a country song just saying it. But you play it, it's amazing. Another example is I'm Broken by Pantera. Sounds rubbish when I do it. Stick Dimebag Darrell on it, sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And crap story. I'm Broken, that entire guitar riff was nicked by Tom Morello for an Audio Slave song.
Okay.
So, yeah, I can't remember which one. It sounds exactly like it. It's the same. He nicked that riff and just put his own slant on it. So,
let's sue him. Let's sue him, man.
Scratch the surface.
Definitely. I wholeheartedly agree. My fellow podcast host Thomas would love you for you mentioning 59 Times the Pain, because they were an awesome band from Sweden. I mean, all the Burning Heart stuff was good.
But T-shirt still to this day.
Nice.
I cut the sleeves off it. It's brilliant. That I love that band. It was so good. But I liked a lot of Burning Heart stuff. Breach was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Race Fist, obviously International Noise Conspiracy, Refused. Loads of Burning Heart stuff was just like off the charts.
Definitely,
how good it was.
So many. Melancholy,
amazing. Yeah,
definitely. So we could go on and on and on to talk about music and hardcore and all those amazing bands, all those amazing labels. We could, do an entire special about Victory Records, the label that Mínus was on. When they released the two albums. Was it 2 or 3 albums? I think it was only 2 albums, right? I think they re-released Jesus Christ Bobby. Because it was originally by an Icelandic Hey Johnny, of course, and then Holodoxus, and then the Great Southern Whale, Great Northern Whale Kill, exactly. So
they did it. I don't know if you know this or not, but they did a couple of songs which never saw the light of day. Oh, you can find them on if you type in Mínus Reading Festival where it was. They play it, and it's either called In Your Band or In Your Bed. I think it's called In Your Bed. It makes more sense.
Probably it's probably knowing from me, it's probably In Your Bed. Yeah,
quite a promiscuous group back then. To be fair, in terms of the imagery they portrayed,
definitely.
I think it's called In Your Bed. Man, it's such a good song. Such a good song. They never released it.
They did sell an unreleased or a new vinyl at the show that we were at in Reykjavik, right? Wasn't that like a double album with wasn't there? I think there was one album, and I think you might have bought it even, right?
I didn't buy it.
You did not. Okay.
Bring my case for it, but I'll be annoyed if that's on it. I didn't know that. I don't know.
I because there was one like vinyl album that I did not know or cover that I had not seen before, but it was just not. I don't know why I didn't buy it, because I think it was just so stoked that because it was after the show, and I was like, fuck, I saw Mínus for the first time. It was amazing, and it was in Reykjavik in all places. So
they've got all these little like gems hidden. Like I think they did a song called Bar Fight, which is brilliant. That was a B-side to the kind of want to say Angel in Disguise.
Okay.
A B-side, I think Bar Fight was cool. And then they covered Nice Boys by Rose Tattoo.
Oh, yeah, of course. Definitely.
And bizarrely, the band I'm in, I nicked the main riff for the song that we did. I did an original cover. I was like, I kind of got this idea, but it sounds like Nice Boys as in the verse riff, not the chorus. So I kind of lifted it. But
Okay.
I don't think we'll be sued because it's quite low down in the mix in terms of Spotify listening and stuff like that. So
You gotta send me a link to that band. I definitely want to check you out.
it's
Definitely.
interesting. It's good fun. It's good fun. That's the beauty of it. It's just like, I don't know where we're going with it. It's just a laugh. And
Are you planning on doing gigs or?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are. We're kind of putting the feelers out there now, because I think we're gonna do a few more practices just to get in tune with it. Because 3 of the guys in the band, they're all kind of like singer-songwriters in their own right.
Okay.
In that respect, they all do gigs on the side and stuff around the day jobs.
Right.
So it's nice to just be the guy who just tips up with like a bass line now and go, I've got this idea. So the song I've just mentioned to you now, which is called We Are Wrexham FC, I came up with that melody in the shower. I was like, am I ripping that off somewhere? And it turns out I ain't ripping anybody off. I like that bass line, but I did lift Nice Boys as a verse. And when you hear it, you're like, oh, yeah, see what he's got.
Oh, cool. That is so cool. Yeah, I mean, you got to practice. You got to play some live gigs because you're probably going to play the relegation party.
Relegation party. You're doing so well. I thought he's being too nice.
No, relegation party up. You're going to promotion one. Yeah, promotion one.
Yeah.
So relegation is always going down and promotion is going up. Yeah, that was my bad. Sorry, I was not hoping for Wrexham to go down. I was thinking you go up, but it's probably not the best idea. It's probably not the best idea to have back promotion, right?
I don't know. I mean, they're not messing around. The owners are not messing around, but you never know. I don't really know what's going to happen. I'm just going to enjoy this season, see where.
Enjoy the ride. Yeah,
exactly. It's all we can do, I think, at this moment in time. And I've just realised how many guitars I've got here and how many I've played in the last 6 to 8 months, which is probably none. I need to sell some of my guitars, man. That is just
yeah,
shocking. I mean, I've got a box there in the background, which
I was going to mention that.
That's a box that I was going to boxing up to sell on, and I still haven't done it. So still an empty box is lying behind me, like making the place look tidy.
Oh well, Tim.
Never mind.
All right, Tim. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. You can be on anytime, any other time that you want. Maybe when you are having that 5th promotion to the Premier League, celebrate that on this podcast as well. Something like that.
Maybe I'll come over. Maybe I'll come over to the German Christmas market around Christmas, and we can figure something out.
Exactly. Let's do that. That sounds like a good idea.
Let me know where I need to come, and I'll get it booked. I'm just gonna go. Let's just go. Fuck it. Let's go.
You've been to Germany before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so come on over again. Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Cool.
We'll hang out.
Too long.
All right.
I need to come back for sure.
Okay. Thank you very much. Pleasure to have you head on. And guys, stay tuned.
Take care.